Hello, everyone. This is Pete Latona, VP of Sales for Retail Pro. Wanted to thank you all for attending. I think we've got a great presentation for you today. I'd like to introduce our two presenters, Uliana and Guilherme, and they will be taking you through the information. We will have an opportunity at the end of the presentation today for questions, so feel free to hold those till the end if you have any, and we'll be happy to address those. And at this point, I'll go ahead and pass that over to you, Uliana.
All right, thank you, Pete. Hi, everybody. We're really glad to have you all on the call. We're hoping all of you are staying safe and staying well, and starting to look a little bit more optimistic with different parts of the regions opening up again with retail, and we're excited along with you for that, and as well as just looking forward to, okay, how are we going to tackle the rest of this year, right? I think everybody more or less started 2020 off pretty optimistic, maybe a little apprehensive as we were watching, just with global supply chains and whatnot, and as the situation was unfolding in China. But when COVID-19 hit, everybody was affected, right? And so we sympathize, we empathize. We're all in this together, and in the same way, we're all going to get through this together, right? And so that's partly why we're on this webinar today, is to share with you different ways of okay, how can we tap into our data right now to see what we can learn and make the most of it, and get through 2020 so that it's not a total loss, right? At the same time, actually, what I would like to share with you personally is just, from a marketing standpoint, I think retailers always have been people of very great ingenuity, and we saw this at play for sure during the COVID-19 season right now. And so what I'd like to share with you is just a few ways that retailers have done such a great job of meeting customers where they are right now, which is at home, right? We've seen a lot of great examples, actually, of just retailers stepping up and pivoting on their strategy, right? So many people already had e-commerce, of course, and then the ones who hadn't yet, who, for example, in luxury, they tend not to go for e-commerce just because the experience is something that is part of luxury, right? You want that in-person touch and whatnot. But we saw a lot of those kind of retailers as well stepping onto the e-commerce scene, and just seeing a lot of great work from retailers in this time. For example, some retailers, this is one from one of our customers in Latin America, they're Super Tienda Morena. So they have a lot of housewares and a lot of different businesses. Restaurants actually go to them also for the dishes and whatnot. And something that this retailer did to keep in touch with their customers while they're apart is mobile sales. So in Latin America, e-commerce is still developing for the most part, and this retailer has been at work heavily to be getting their e-commerce strategy going with their customers. But so when COVID-19 hit, one way that they kept in touch with their customers is through mobile sales. A big portion of everywhere outside of the U.S. actually uses WhatsApp, and so Tienda Morena tapped into this market, this audience, and by providing their store numbers, so customers could reach directly to them and place an order with them over the mobile phone. And this actually, in a way, this is such a great emotional appeal to their customers. It's the same almost as if you're texting your neighbor or a family member somewhere who's going to the store and say, hey, can you grab this for me? I'm gonna, and I'll send you money over WhatsApp or whatnot, right? But it's just a really great, direct, and personal way to keep communication going between the retailer and the community. Another way we saw a lot of great traction actually was in collaboration. So this one is REI, the outdoors retailer, had a collaboration with West Elm as a home goods retailer, and this is a relationship actually that had begun just a little bit prior in the final parts of 2019, but really proved effective as they went into 2020 with COVID, because they were able to have new campaigns as far as, okay, let's make your stay at home more comfortable in that, right? Let's bring the outdoors to your backyard with these lawn chairs and different elements from West Elm, for example, for picnics at home, right? Just helping customers cope with the situation and the restrictions of not being able to be freely outdoors as they wanted, right? But they're one of the benefits too for the retailers themselves is it's bringing together their strong reputations and their customer bases and just spreading reach in that way to both their customer bases. Another one, Lucchese's here in Texas, actually, this is a fine, very great boot maker in Texas, and they've got on their website a new little pop-up there at the bottom where you can click on it and you see my name on it because that was me testing it, and you're able to log on with one of their employees and have a personal consultation on the spot with them. And that's so important for products that require more consideration, right? I mean, for a custom boot, it's not just something that you go and pick up, you know, off the shelf. I mean, shoes in general are difficult for online shopping unless you've got just, you know, your standard brand that you go to, but even more so for a custom product, right? And so Lucchese did just such a great job of being able to keep that connection with customers and keep sales going because they're able to still provide a personal consultation for their clients in this way. Another one from Reebok you might have seen. Reebok had a give back program that they launched during COVID, which encouraged customers to reach out and nominate a local hero, right? Somebody from the front lines. Maybe it's their postman, maybe it's their Amazon delivery guy, maybe it's their neighbor who does Amazon delivery, right? Or someone working in the hospitals right now, right? Nurses and doctors. So this, and when they nominate their frontline hero, Reebok gave shoes to those heroes. This was just another really, really good example of goodwill being shown during this season, and especially as far as tapping into the emotional realm of customer experience, right? This is something that, okay, maybe they're not going to be thinking, you know, a few years down the road, like while behaviors and whatnot will definitely be impacted by COVID-19, people are not going to be actively thinking about the situation, you know, a few years down the line. But at the same time, the emotional impact made its impact, and it will stay with them going forward. They might not even realize why they like Reebok so much, but this is why underneath it all, right? So this, one, it encouraged customer interaction with the brand, but then it also just supports sentiment, positive sentiment both towards the brand and towards their heroes, wanting to reward those who've been at risk, right, as they're serving the communities around them with this. One final way that I'd like to share about was Mercedes. Mercedes-Benz, great brand for everyone knows for luxury cars, and they had a car show planned for August. Perhaps some of you were planning to watch or attend that, but because of the situation, obviously they had to cancel. So they made the best of this definitely by opening this car show up to everyone via Zoom. This was such a great way. I mean, they invited some of their, you know, you've got Ludacris, you've got Martha Stewart, you've got Jay Leno there above her. A lot of these people, famous, you know, car owners and car collectors showing the vehicles that they have. And the great thing about opening up this car show to absolutely everybody in the world is that you get the aspirational audience in there with you, right? So maybe right now the high school or college student who's, you know, he's riding bicycle to school every day, right? Or, well, he's staying at home right now, but when school opens up again, they're riding their bikes. But as you know, several years down the road, 7 years later, when they've got that medical degree, what are they going to buy? They're going to buy Mercedes. You know, it's something that they've been aspiring towards for years, and this is another really good way that that retailers were able to stay connected with their customers. So, I mean, in all of these things, we saw one thing in common, really, is that these retailers, they know their customers. And how do they know their customers? Because they're paying attention to their data, right? They're able to see, okay, who are our customers? What are they doing? What are they purchasing with us or not purchasing with us right now, right? And they're really relying on their data for insight about their customers so that they could pivot on their strategy and not completely drop out, but make the most of being apart, make the most of not being able to have people in the stores right now. It's important to note, I mean, business as a nature, there are always patterns in the data. There's always something to nurture and to glean from it, to learn from the situation. And really, a strong analytical engine is your key asset in this, because human brains are incredible, but with the amounts of data that you filter through on a regular basis between your retail data with point of sale and e-commerce stores and whatnot that you've got going on, right? That's a whole lot of data to process, and it just definitely helps to use a strong analytical engine for this. And so part of what Guilherme is gonna share with you is how you can use the data that you've already got to glean insights right now to help you on through the rest of 2020 to really make the most of the situation and position yourself for recovery and growth throughout the remainder of the year. So with that, I'll let you, Guilherme, take over and share the insights we've got there for him.
Thank you, Liana. So as Juliana said, data is more, I could say that data is more than ever important, and many of you for sure have already heard the sentence, data is the new gold, data is the new petroleum. And actually, that's very, very true, and the sooner retailers understand that, the sooner they will profit on it. And when you rely on your data, and what we propose here is that you seek for insights in your data, instead of just looking back and understanding, okay, the days we had the years we had a bad result, the years we had a good result. More than that is to look at your data, understand it, and use it to derive insights for the future. So based on the way customers bought last month, how can I increase the sales this month? Based on the products that sold the most during the pandemic, how could I put up a strategy to increase sales working with those products? And Retail Pro decisions can help you with that. I suppose some of you don't know what is Retail Pro decisions. So to explain that, what is Retail Pro decision and why Retail Pro decisions? First of all, what is Retail Pro decisions? Retail Pro decisions is a visual analytics software totally integrated with Retail Pro for action, for making assertive decisions. So you have dashboards, you have reports, totally integrated with Retail Pro database, multi-platform, which means you can open it on your computer, on the browser, on the mobile phone, on tablets, and you can see data from customer point of view, product point of view. You can have some of the insights once you have all integrated in one platform, and not only data from Retail Pro, but you can also integrate data from other systems such as ERP systems, CRM, e-commerce. Once you have all that information in one place, you can have a better understanding of your business. And once you have a better understanding of your business, you can make assertive decisions. Comparisons, rankings, filterings, calculations, everything is there for you to use it and to better manage your business. Okay, I understand what is decisions, but why can it help me? And these are a bunch of questions that we could answer with Retail Pro decisions. As you can see, all these questions can have an important impact on your results. So for example, how have recent marketing efforts affected our ad or foot traffic? So your company has a marketing strategy, and it somewhat impacts your foot traffic when you're talking to your physical stores and your web traffic. How can that help you? How can you better understand, see if these marketing efforts are really making the impact you wish they were making? Another example, are discounts making a significant enough difference in buying patterns to be worth it? So when COVID-19 hit, many retailers tried to use a discount-centered strategy. Is that working? Because if it's not working, maybe instead of giving discounts, I should work with the regular price, because at least if that doesn't bring me more sales, that doesn't bring me an increase in revenue, at least I'll sell the same quantity, okay, but at the original price, which will give me a higher revenue. We also, when we talk about supply chain, when we talk about suppliers and purchasing and receiving merchandise, are our distributors meeting their delivery deadlines? More than ever, we don't want to lose a sale because we don't have the item, the product in our inventory. Also, more than ever, we want to negotiate, we want to buy products at the lowest cost. All these kind of business questions can be answered with Retail Pro decisions. So in the next slides, I will present you some insights we came up with that retailers should seek, should try to understand, should try to have in order to make better decisions. And when I say make better decisions, I mean the right decisions, assertive decisions, so as my results can be better, so as my revenue can be increased. That's the point here. Things that you should be looking at, things that you should be paying attention to in order to have better results. So for example, insight number 1, what's our customers' purchase potential now and after COVID-19? I think we can all agree that COVID had an impact on the business, for sure on the way people buy. I think everybody can agree on that. But how can I measure it? How can I understand it so I can work with the products, with the right mix of products, and sell to the right customers? I mean, it is kind of difficult to focus on all the customers you have, especially if you're a big company, but you should at least pay special attention to those VIP customers that represent 80% of your revenue. So that we call the Pareto analysis, because these customers, if these customers stop buying, it will affect deeply your results. Okay, and for sure, which customers actually have been shopping with you during lockdown? Are these customers part of the VIP customers? How can I understand the way customers were buying during the pandemic, during the lockdown, and how they were buying before? Once I understand that, I can derive better marketing strategies, and I can pivot my strategy in order to achieve these customers. Retail Pro decisions comes with customers dashboards that can help you see the discount you're giving, the margin each customer gives you, ATV, UPT. You can also compare top customers by revenue, top customers by margin. And in a clear analysis, in an easy analysis such as this one that I built on the fly, I can select a customer and see how his purchase pattern evolved during time. So I have a list of items, I have the timeline, and I can see, okay, so this customer used to buy these products at these quantities on last year, and here we can see how they're buying now. And if I understand that, I can propose them the items that they're buying the most or they need the most right now. Okay, so pay attention to customer purchase potential. That's the first insight. The second one is item product centered. So the same way customers changed their purchasing pattern, the items that you sell the most during the pandemic maybe are not the same that sold the most before that. So why do I keep buying those products that I don't sell that much now? Why do I have them in my inventory? More than ever, we need to move our inventory. Okay, so no one wants to lose a sale because they are sold out, but also no one wants to have a product in their inventory and don't sell it. Okay, because if they don't sell it, it's a cost. Okay, and to manage that, you really need to have an analytical view of your company, and you must see that for each store, for each department, for each item. Okay, and trying to get that information, that insight, without an analytical, without business intelligence, is very, very difficult. Also, when talking about pricing, during the time, we for sure had different prices in different periods. And for example, if a specific item was sold at $100 on last year, and now it's being sold at $80, we should understand how it helped to move inventory. So when the price of that item was 100, how many items did I sell? When the price was 80, how many items did I sell? In order to derive a dynamic pricing strategy. Okay. Also, with Retail Pro decisions and the inventory dashboards, you can do that. So you can understand your sell-through. You can see that compared to your net sales. You can see the quantity of items you have per store, and also detailed information by vendor, by department, class, subclass, product. All the information is there, so you can understand for each period of time how you sold and derive and forecast a dynamic price. So the exact price that will bring you the most when we talk about revenue. That's the idea we propose, and that's one of the things Retail Pro Decisions can do for you. Still talking about inventory, products, and how to move it fast, the third insight we propose is where can we cut costs for procurement, indirect spending, and fulfillment. So the point here, again, is to uncover hidden costs. So you need to sell, and to sell, you need products. To have that product to sell, you need to buy them. So the point is, how can I decrease the cost I have for that product? So many questions can be made. Am I buying from the supplier that gives me the minimum deadline? Am I buying from suppliers that give me better cost? Because if I can cut on costs, I can increase my margin. And to understand that at the item granularity is rather difficult. So with Retail Pro Decisions, you can understand purchasing, receiving, and compare that to sales. So you buy the right amount of the right product, okay, which is the one that will give you better results, better an increase in revenue. I can see how am I negotiating with the supplier, so I can see I have zero discount, and this is a time where suppliers and business in general are open to negotiating, as it's better to have a sale, even if it's a lower price, than having no sale at all. Also, am I ordering, am I purchasing from the vendors that I'm selling the most? And I can easily see here, for example, that I'm buying from two suppliers, Avon Textile and Deportanis, and they are not among top vendors by net sales. So I'm buying too much of a vendor and not buying, and I'm not selling at this moment. That's the kind of insight you can obtain with Retail Pro Decisions. So better conciliate, better relate purchasing, receiving, and sales. So you can have the right inventory, let's say, the inventory you need to sell the most, sell the products with the highest margin. That's what we propose you. Also, another insight is to what extent the changes necessitated by COVID-19 result in permanent shopping behavior shift. So through this webinar, we've been talking on about how patterns changed due to COVID-19, purchase patterns, sales patterns. We had somewhat a mindset before COVID-19, and I have a different one now. And for sure that impacts on sales. The point here is to understand, are those changes permanent, or those changes are temporary? To understand that, you really need to continuously look at your data, because everything is changing dynamically, okay? And it's changing a lot. So last week, in some states, in some cities, stores were closed. Now they're able to open again, and no one can say for sure if we'll still be able to open those stores next week or next month. Maybe contamination numbers rise exponentially, and the governor, the mayor, published an order to close stores again. So uncertainty reigns at this moment, and retailers must be dynamic and flexible to adapt to it. To do that, you really need to be a little bit fanatic of your data. Really take a look at it and understand how you are performing by channel, by salesperson, by customer, by product, and frequently be reviewing that, and to quickly review those numbers, because what was true last week is not true anymore. Maybe it's not true anymore. With Retail Pro decisions, you can have access to a bunch of reports and can be easily customizable. So in that table, for example, I see number of invoices, quantity, and net sales, discount by customer. But let's say now I want to see that by item description, for example. So I change it to item very easily, and now I have a report that tells me the performance by item, and I can do that for by channel. I can see, okay, so e-commerce strategy is working, mobile sales strategy is working. Which one should I invest more? Which one will give me better results, an increase in revenue? And I can have that mailed to me daily, weekly, monthly. So I can frequently be taking a look at my strategy and adapting if necessary, and correcting if it's not the right one. Okay. The fifth insight is directly related to the last one, because as soon as I am kind of fanatic, and as soon as I am all the time looking at my data to see my performance across channels, stores, states, and so on, I really need to work with real-time data. Okay, so as I said, what was true last week is not true anymore, and things are really more than ever, due to the pandemic, changing a lot and changing rapidly. So I need to be able to adapt to that and be flexible. The question is, what is the impact of changes we implement in immediate, short-term, and mid-term? So COVID pushes us to adapt to new different situations, and we try to adapt, we change, we implement new strategies, new tactics, and that will impact my business, that will impact my numbers. Okay, how can I see if these impacts, if I'm on the right direction or not? So working with real-time data is extremely important, and that's something you can have with decisions. You can have access to real-time data, see all your sales, all your numbers from different channels, different systems at one platform, and see that and have that updated constantly, almost real-time data. And with that, you can see if your strategy is working or not. You can see if it's time to change your strategy or not. Also, one other important thing is to understand and see the data in context, which means your business, your different systems, ERP, CRM, EOS, e-commerce, and so marketing platforms, they're all generating data inside your company. We can integrate that and see all that data integrated in Retail Pro decisions to see how they correlate and to derive insights. But your company is not isolated. So maybe the weather can impact your business, financial market data can impact your business, what people are posting on the internet, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, can give you the idea and see, okay, so in this particular city, people are more willing to buy, to go out, so maybe it's good idea to reopen stores now, or okay, people are still very scared, very afraid of going out, so I'll need to invest in order to reopen my store. I really need to show them that it's safe, and then can go there and can go back shopping with at my store because it's safe and there is really no problem. So seeing your data in context, see how data that is produced out of your company can actually interact with your results and understand, okay, is there a relation I'm not seeing? Is there something that happens outside my business that can impact my business, can impact my revenue and my numbers? Here I show you an example where you can see that very easily I can integrate other data sources with Retail Pro decisions. As you can see, I have a bunch of data sources available, so I can integrate and match them with my existing Retail Pro decisions database. Okay, so data from weather, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, also from marketing platforms such as Google Analytics, Google Trends, and so on. And all that data that you can easily integrate, import to your model, to your dashboards. So as you can see, if there is a correlation, and if so, how can I explore it in order to have better results? And to finish, what is the opportunity? What's the opportunity cost of inaction? So we are used to talking about cost. So the cost of my inventory, labor costs, and so on. But another very important cost we should be looking at is opportunity cost. So the cost that I somewhat have for not grabbing that opportunity, for not getting the most of an opportunity. Okay, so if my e-commerce strategy is not working that much, but on the other hand, mobile sales is up, so is the new thing. So people are really using it to buy. So the money I am investing in my e-commerce, I could be investing in my mobile sales and increasing revenue. So that's the opportunity cost. The cost you somewhat have because you're not seeing the right opportunity you have. And even worse is the opportunity cost of inaction, of not doing what you should be doing. But what am I supposed to do? What can I do? To understand that, I really need my data. I need, again, to look at my data. I need to see constantly how am I performing by salesperson, by location, by region, by channel, by product, by customer, I need to understand from which suppliers I'm buying the most, if these ones are also the ones I sell the most, and so on. And everybody in your company should be looking at their data, should understand his own personal performance in order to make assertive decisions, in order to work with facts and numbers instead of just, opinions or feeling. And to do that, for sure, you have to deliver the right data to the right person at the right time, because we cannot just go on and share information with everybody without assuring that critical information, sensitive information are being shared inappropriately. This is called data governance, and that can be very easily done with Retail Pro decisions. Retail Pro decisions allows you to have access data through reports, through dashboards, through browsers, and you can govern and coordinate who is able to see which data, and you can even go to the detail of, let's say, one specific user cannot see cost or cannot see margin of a specific product at a specific store. So that's the kind of granularity you can have with Retail Pro decisions. So it will perfectly suit on your data governance strategy without avoiding all people in your organization to have access to the data they need. You can deliver the right data to the right person automatically. So in a nutshell, these were the examples and the insights we wanted to share with you, so as you can better see what other retailers are doing and see which questions are important to you, or which insights you should be looking for in order to make more assertive decisions and for sure increase revenue and have a better result. So if you have questions, comments, and you'd like to hear a little bit more about what me or Juliana said, please go on.
Yes, feel free to type in questions in the chat box if you have any. Otherwise, you have Guilherme's contact information there on the screen, and you can always email him with any questions, and we'd be happy to answer any that you would have at this time. All right, so we've got our first question. Is Retail Pro Decisions agnostic if we have other solutions in place? And for mobile, is it iOS or Android?
Okay, so the second part, yes, you can use it both on iOS or Android. It works on both platforms. And the first part of the question, could you say that again, please?
Oh, yes. Is Retail Pro agnostic if they have other solutions in place? So can it be, I understand this to mean, can it be integrated with other software?
Yes, for sure. So just going over it again, Retail Pro Decisions is a business intelligence platform already 100% integrated to Retail Pro database, but not only, okay, it's not a closed solution, it's completely open, so you can integrate other systems to it in order to enhance and enrich your visualization and your model.
Okay, thank you. Another question, which versions of Retail Pro does Retail Pro Decisions integrate with?
Good question. That's actually no problem. It's compatible with all versions, because what we integrate with actually is the database, and the database doesn't change. So the queries, the model with constructing what we call the backend doesn't change. So Retail Pro 8, 9, Prism, it will work perfectly fine.
Excellent. All right. So we'll give you a couple seconds more if you've got any last thoughts or questions, and otherwise, as said before, you've got Guilherme's contact information there, and please do feel free to reach out to him with any and all questions you might have. We do have a question about the cost. That one, Guilherme can reach out to you after the webinar just to take that one offline. But that's certainly something we can discuss with you as well. So, well, with that, just final thoughts. As we said before, I mean, COVID-19 hit everyone. We were in it together, and you guys, we will get through this together. So let's stand together as we keep going through the rest of 2020, and let's see how we can make this work. Let's make it the best year so far, given the circumstances, right? And stand together, and here's to retail ingenuity going farther than it's ever gone before. Thank you all for joining us on the webinar today, and we will send you a link to the presentation shortly afterwards so that you can have that available to you for rewatching at any point. And again, thank you all, and we hope you stay well, and we wish you the best of skill and ingenuity for retail as you're reopening and moving forward with that. Thank you all. Ta-ta.
Thank you all.